Hello guys, welcome back to another tutorial. Today we're going to look at Laravel relationships. Laravel relationships are very important, especially when developing big applications. You may find relationship between posts, users, categories, tags, etc. in an application. So how do you define them? We'll create a mini blog which will utilize all the three common relationships in Laravel. That is one to one, this one, and we're also going to look at one to many and many to many. That is when you look at that is here. So one to one to many, and many to many. That is this one, and this one. You realize that the three ones, this one to one to many, and many to many, are highly used in that is in Laravel relationships. So let's get started. Now you also need to know that this is a Laravel advanced. This is a Laravel advanced way. So if you are still a beginner, you can check on my course. You can check a course I've done on getting started with Laravel step by step. It is a 2-hour course. So if you are new to this channel, you can just go and check in the link description below or somewhere up in this video. So one thing before we start, if you are new to this channel, just start by subscribing to this channel and like this video and also share it with your friends. So let's get started. So the first thing we're going to look at one to one, and which is also known as one, or one to many, the next one, or inverse of it is belongs to, and many to many, inverse of it is belongs to many. Now we're not going to look at them just like step by step like this. As you can see here, I explained in the documentation, but what I'm going to do, I'm going to create a mini blog which is going to utilize all the three relationships that we have in Laravel. Not that we have, but which are common and which are highly used in applications. All right, so let's get started. So the first thing I want us to do is to install Laravel, which comes. We're going to install Laravel with JStream. So JStream is a package that is used to which is used for authenticating any application in Laravel. So what you're going to do here is that you're going to install a Laravel. So you are going to have something like this. So Laravel new. So you're going to have Laravel new, and then we just give it the name of the app will be my Laravel 9 app. So you can give it whichever name you want. Yeah, so you're going to have this and installed. So you're going to run this command and you're going to install Laravel, and then here you're going to have a sign of JStream. So this one is going to install Laravel with JStream. Remember, I already have Composer installed, so you can check it in my other course how to maybe integrate Composer with your XAMPP, that is this XAMPP as well, so that you can use them both. But just know that I'm using it. Okay, so let me just hit enter. Let's see. All right, so which stack do you prefer? So here I'm just going to go with the Livewire. And do you need application teams? No. So we are not going to deal much of JStream, just to give us the authentication functionality, and that's all. So let it install. So this one will just take a minute, and let me come back once it is done. Alright guys, now this is installed. So we have our my Laravel app 9 installed. So I've just opened the folder where it is located. So it is located in the inht docs, and my Laravel app, which is now the folder. So we have already now installed the Laravel. So what we're going to do here, I'm going to start with we are going to begin with the tables and with the models and the tables. So that is what we're going to do. So the first thing I want us to do is to create the post, that is the models and the tables, right? So let's just begin. So the first command will be php artisan make, and then here we're going to have it is model, and then within the model we're going to have migration, like that. So now this command will make for us the post table, and as well it will also make for us to make for us the model and also create migration for table. So just hit enter, and you're good to go. So here we can look at it in the database. So we have post table created, and then we should also have our models. So you can access your models in the app, and as well you can see we already have our post.php model created. So what we'll do here is that within the database, let's go back to the database here. Where is it? Okay, it's here. So here we are going to create a table for our post. That is, we are going to create a table for our post. So the entries that we're going to insert into our post table. Now here I will just okay, let me just copy and paste this so that you can just see it. So here I'm just going to copy and paste these tables within our post.php. So here I'm going to have it like this. Sorry, this should be okay. So let me take this one out and this one out, since it's still the same. So what you are doing here is that we have a table with an ID, and then we also have a user ID, title, details, and the other one. So here these two should not be here. Okay, so you are going to have it like this. So that means that here we are having a user ID. This user ID is being taken, that is going to record the user ID from the users table. Remember here, when you create users table, is created by default. So you can see we have user table already, which comes with the JStream. That is for the person who is authenticated within our application. So here the user ID matches with the ID from the user. So the person who is logged in, his user ID will be recorded in the post table, and then from there is where our relationship will start. That means, let me just say this one, let's go to our post.php. Now our post.php, we are going to give particular relationship here. So here, let me show you what we're going to do. So here what you're going to do is that we are going, let me paste this code and explain this to you so that we save time. So what we are going to do here is that I am using the protected fillable, which has the user ID, the title, and the details, because this is what we are going to be creating in our post table. And then here, now I have two relationships here, which let me just have commented out for you to be able to understand easily. Remember, you'll have this code in GitHub, so you can be able to go and check it out. So what you're doing here is that, for example, the first relationship is between user and, that is between user and post. So here I'm saying get the user that owns the post, and I'm using belongs to. That means that a user will be associated with a post. So we have a post, and then down there within the post we have the user who created the post. So that is just easy as that. And then we also have another relationship between categories and post. So here we have in get all the categories for the post. Now this one I will explain as we continue, because we have not established categories like categories table and categories pivot table like the category post, which we are going to create later. So just be mindful of this one, which now, let me just say this, which now records, that is the relationship is between the post and the user. So this one defines for us one to one, and as well one to many relationship. So both of them are going to be established as we continue, but this one defines for us one-to-one relationship, because we have a post, we have a user associated with a post, and we can only have one user being associated with a post, right? So so that is done. So the next one we are going to create is the categories table. So here I'm just going to, sorry, this is wrong. Okay, so what you're going to do here, so here I'm just going to use the same command. So I'm going to have categories. So this will create for us categories table, and okay, so here we already have the category and then the table for categories. So this one you're also going to have the same thing. So we're going to have this. So these are the entries we're going to have here. So we are going to have let me take out that one, and let me take out this one as well. So what we have in here is that we have in the categories table, and we have in also user ID of the person who creates the category. We have in the name and the slug, and the okay. So our categories have slug. A slug is whereby we are able to associate a category, that is, for example, the name of the category and then the slug. Now let's say, for example, I'm creating JavaScript as a category, so the slug will also be JavaScript. So now this one will enable us to be able to access the category by the slug. Yeah, so this one it will come to you well as we continue. So in the category, let's establish the relationship that we need to have in the categories between category and post. So here, this is the relationship that I'm having between categories and post. So I've also commented out. So I've commented out because I want you to understand these things well. So you can see here what I'm having is get the user that owns the category. So this is similar with what we had done in the other, that is in the post.php, as you can see here. So the relationship is still the same. So we are using the category that is the user that owns the category. So we have belongs to, and then down here we have get all the posts that are assigned this category. So as I've told you, let me just create the pivot table category post and explain what it is. But what you need to know here is that the user is associated with a category. In other words, the user owns a particular category which belongs to a post. Now here, just on a quick explanation here, is that posts will have many categories. Different posts will have many categories. So a post can have more than one category. So this defines for us many to many relationship. And then here, this one, as you can see here, this one is the pivot table. Now, what is a pivot table? A pivot table is a table that establishes for us the relationship between our posts and categories. So what it does is that it records the category ID and the pivot, and sorry, not the pivot, but the post ID. So we are going to have a post ID and a category ID. Now these two are recorded for the post and also for the categories. from the categories table and from the post table. So let me just continue so that you'll understand more as we continue with this. So now here I'll have this, so here I should have like this. So now I'm creating the pivot table. So let me just click enter so that you can create. So this is now the model for our category and category post. So we have in our category post like this. So guys, this is what we are going to have within the categories table. So within the categories table, this is what we're going to have. So we are having the category ID and the post ID. So this is what I was trying to tell you. So category ID and the post ID. So whenever you create a post and whenever you create a category, so what category post, which is the pivot table, is going to do is going to record both of them, the post ID and the category ID. And then here we have a foreign key. So here what we are saying here, the category ID references ID on the categories table. So within the categories table here we have an ID here. So what this is doing is that this ID is being referenced from the categories table, and then it becomes recorded within the pivot table. Likewise for the post table, so the post ID which is being taken from the post table will also get recorded within the category post. So this is what is happening here. And as well, there's something I did not explain to you. So when you look at the post table here, we also have a foreign key here, whereby we are saying the user ID references ID on users. So what is happening here is very simple. Remember, we have created our post table with a user ID. So what it is doing is that whenever a person gets logged in, remember we are using JString for authentication. So the user ID of the person who is logged in gets recorded, and then it gets recorded from the users table to the post table as a user ID, and then that person now is linked up. So what Eloquent does within the post.php model here, it now establishes that this person who has created this post, it belongs to this particular user. So it's just easy as that. Alright, so let me save this one. I think I've explained this one as well. Alright, so now so I think there is, okay, so I think we are done with the table. So we are done with the, yes, so we are done with the tables. So let me just so we are done with everything that pertains to the database and migrations. So what you are going to do here, just go to your .env file. So within your .env file here, okay, so we already have this database created here, this one. So let me just copy it and create the database within our application. So here, so let me just do this quickly. So guys, so this is the table that I've created. So my Laravel 9. So you just need to create a table like that, and then you're good to go. So now so what now you need to do is just need to run this command, php artisan migrate. So this is going to migrate all our tables. So alright, so once this is done, we can just go now to the next step. Okay, so now this is successful. So let me just clear this. So now the next step we are going to do is that we are going to create the blade templates. So we are going to create the blade templates. So we'll begin by creating a folder called post. So within our view, so we are going to create a folder that is going to contain for us a folder that is going to have for us the details for our post. So here I'm going to have a post like that. Then within the post here, I'm going to create a blade, which I'm going to name it create blade.php. Now here, simply what we are doing here is that this is the blade that creates for us our post from the backend. So so let me just copy this code to save time and also to go. So this is the code for the post, that is not the post but the create.php. So let me just explain. So it's easy, although you may want to check this course. I've done a detailed course on how to make a blog using Laravel, so you may want to check that one in my YouTube channel. So what we are doing here is that we are just using a form that is going to create for us our post. We are routing it to post.store, and then the post, it has a title. We also have details within our form, and as well we also have, now here is where I want you to take note of this. So here you can see we have a category ID. Now what this one does is that we are going to, it selects the category ID from the categories table, and then from there we are able to choose the category from our post table, and then we are able to submit. So what we're doing here, we are just selecting the category ID, and then from the categories, remember we have established the relationship, so this is not going to be a big deal. Now down here, what I'm having is I'm having a JavaScript code, and also I'm also using a CK editor. So you may be wondering what is a CK editor. So now when you go to CK editor here, so CK editor, as you can see, is a platform, is a editor that you can use to just to do like the way you see in WordPress. We also have editors like Gutenberg and so forth. So this one functions the same way. So you can just import it into your application and you just start using. So once the application is up and running, you'll be able to see. But you can check out their website, ckeditor.com, and see what it does. So this is what I'm using here in my application. So so what I'm using here is I've just imported it using the JavaScript. So there's a way you will do it. So you just have to get you just need to go to the documentation, and then they will just give you the code, and then you just come and paste it there. Now I'm also using a jQuery statement here. Now this jQuery, what I'm doing, I'm using it for, it enables me to select the categories from the category using the category ID I've just indicated here. So I've indicated category ID, and then I use the jQuery, which will enable me to select different categories from our post table. Now I have done a tutorial similar to this, so that's why I don't dig much into it, because I've done it in another video. So now we are done with this post.create. So so let's just continue with the other one. Now since you can see we have post.store here, as you can see here, it means that we are routing to post.store. So we need to create a post controller, which is going to enable us which is going to register for us all these details into our database. So here I would like you to run this command, php artisan make controller, and the name of the controller is going to be post controller. So we are going to have a post controller like that. So let me save that one. So we already have a post controller created within our app, HTTP controllers. So here I'm going to have this controller. So let me just paste the code for it. So this happens to be the code for my post controller here. So let me just take this one out, and then let me just copy and explain all this. So what we are doing here, I'm having a post controller. This post controller just gives the highlight of, for example, the first function is just ordering the post by ID descending, and then I'm returning this view dashboard. So this one I'm going to create it as well. And then here we have the post.create. So this one is returning for us the view post.create, which is the one we have just created here, the post create. And then we have now the store. So this one, the route post.store is this one. So what we are doing here, we are validating the title, the details, and the category ID, and then now we are recording them within our database. So this is what the Eloquent does. And then here there's something I want you to take note of, is the post categories. So we are synchronizing the categories. In other words, we are requesting the category ID, and then we synchronize it with our categories from the table, and then we are now able, in other words, what this one is doing is establishing the relationship between the post and the categories, and then we are able to create our posts. Now the other ones have not indicated anything, so but this one I've indicated the delete message, whereby we are able to delete a post. So this is just simple. So alright, and then here we are just calling these particular models that we have created already from the start of this tutorial. So let me just save that one. Okay. So now what we do now, since we are also using categories, and we're also going to create categories within our post. So let me just use this one. So now we are going to create categories. We're also going to create blade templates for creating categories as well. So what we're going to do, we are also going to come here within the, so where are we? So within our views here, so remember here is where we created the post. So here I'm going also to create a folder, and I'm going to name it category like this. And then within the categories, I'm going to create a blade. So here I'll create .blade.php like that. And as well, I'm also going to create another one, which is index.blade.php like that. So I'm going to have the two of them. So this one establishes for us the create. So I'm going to create the categories here. So here I'm going to create categories. So I'm going to have the categories here. So what this one is doing is that it is just creating the categories. We are routing to categories.store, so it means that we have to create this controller. And then here I'm just having the categories, that is the name of the category, and that's all. So this is what we are just having here. All right, so let me save this one as well. Now we also have the index. Now index is just showing us all the categories we have created. So let me just get this code as well. So this is what we'll have. So so maybe let me explain some things. So this one is simple. So here we just have the message that flashes once the categories is created. So this is simple. That is whenever you, if it's successful or if you delete. Now the other one is this is just bootstrap, so we are not dealing with front end, so I'll not explain much there. So here we have the category list. So here we route to categories create. So we are going to create this controller right now, and then we create a category, and then now this one gets recorded here. That is the we loop over the categories, that is the categories table. We get the ID, the name, and the username, the ID of the category, the name, and then the username of the person who has created the category. So it's just simple as that. So that means here I'm going to have a category controller which will enable us to create the category. So here we are going to have category controller like that. Okay, so this is done. So here I'm also having a code which I'm just going to paste. So now this is the code. So let me take this one out and let me paste this. So now this is the code. It's just simple, and what we are doing here is that I'm having the index, which is similar as the one I showed you in the post controller, which is just simply showing us the categories, which is returning for us the categories.index, which is this one, and the view. So the view category.index is the one I've just created here. You can see category and then the index. This is the view we are returning, and then create for post, that is, sorry, categories.create. So we are returning this view which creates for us the categories, and then we have now the categories dot store, which now what it does, it just validates the name of the category. That's all we are doing. And then here we are now creating the categories. Now another thing you need to note here, it requires the user ID to be authenticated. Remember, you're using JStream, and then we request the slug of the category, using the string slug, and then we have to call that class here. You can see here, so that we can able to use it. All right, and then now once it is successful, we return it to the categories dot index, which happens to be this one. Okay, and then now here, down here, we are able as well to delete the categories. So it is simple as that. All right, so let me just copy that one. So now since we are done with the categories, now we need to go to the dashboard.blade. So the dashboard.blade is whereby we are going to create. Now that is, we need to update the dashboard.blade.php, which comes with this stream, to show all the created posts. So now what we need to do here, we need to go to this here. So now you can see this one, it's the dashboard that comes with the, that is one. Let me try to see if I can run this application. So PHP artisan serve. Alright, so this is up and running. So let's just run it on our local host. Alright, so now this is the Laravel we installed earlier. So I'm using JStream. So okay, so I've not okay, we ran the migration. Yes, we did. So let me just go to register. So here I can just register Brian with the Brian at gmail.com. Okay, password. All right, and then let me just click register. So now this is the dashboard I was talking to you about. So this is what we are going to change so that it will reflect for us our post that we will have created within the JStream dashboard. Okay, so now let's just finish it. So this is what is now being shown in this part. So I'm having this code here, so which I'm going to update. Alright, so so let me just update this one. So let me just remove this one and update it with my own code. So here I'm just using the dash. Okay, the dashboard. This is the top. We have this part which is being presented by this code here, and then now we have the section content, and as well this the success message, the session messages, that is. And then now we have the post list, which routes to post.create for us to add a new post. Alright, so we have add new, and then now here we have a table which shows the post that has been created. So we loop over the post table and we get the post ID, title, details, and the username, and the delete, and that's all. So that's what we are doing here within. Now remember, this one is extended by the app layout. So the app layout is the so here where we have the layouts. Okay, so within the layouts here I'm having this one. Now here, since I'm using JStream, so I need to get a CDN for this one. So let me just get it. So this is the CDN for the JStream. In other words, I'm using Bootstrap 4.61. So this will enable us to use the Bootstrap within our application. So that's this dashboard.blade.php. So we are done with this one. So I think, alright, so this is good. Now before we finish it up, because we are almost through, so there's something we need to do. So before we go to web.php, let us implement the three concepts. So we have three concepts remaining. So in the welcome blade.php, remember, is the one that is returning the what you have just seen when I ran the PHP. Now I want to remove this one and update it with my own. So I'll take out this one, because now I want to use welcome.blade.php to show for me all the posts that I've created. So this is just the web part of it. So what I'm going to do here, I'm going to update it. So now this is the code that I'm talking to you about. So here I'm extending the guest layout, which is this one. The guest layout should be this one. So this is the guest blade. So I'm using this one. Okay, so I'm having an heading, which is this, and as well so I'm looping over the post, and then I'm getting the, so I have an image here which is coming from images. So here within the public, we are going to create a folder. Okay, so I'm going to create a folder here, and then within the folder here I'm going to give an image which is web.1, that is the name of the image, right? And then here I'm getting the post title. Remember, we have from our post controller and create blade, and then the post details, and then here I'm indicating the person who has created the post, and then the time. And then here I want you to take note of this one. Now this one, for each post category, there's category. This one defines for us the relationship between the category and the post. Remember, we have established the relationship between a post and categories using the pivot table, and as well using the other post model. So when you go back here, we can see we have the category.php, which establishes for us this particular relationship between the post and the categories. Remember, this one is many to many. Remember this one. Then we also have one to many relationship, whereby a user can have many posts, and as well we also have a user with associated with a particular post. we defined it in the post.php, whereby we defined to it as one-to-one relationship. So here, so where we were in the dashboard. Sorry, not the dashboard, but the welcome.php. So this code establishes for us the relationship between the categories and the post. And then here we are getting the URL of the category and then the slug. Now remember, I had showed you something to do with the slug, and this one is recorded within the, let's go to post controller and let me just explain to you something there. So you can see here, as we are recording the post, or when the post gets registered, it's going to synchronize with, it's going to request the category ID. Sorry, not there, it's not there. Okay, okay, so the category ID is going to be selected from the categories, and then we are able to post the category. But I'm talking about the slug. So let me see. Yes, so here, whenever whenever the category gets created, that's where the slug will be associated with that is the request name of the category, or in other words, the name of the category will also be the slug of the category. So that's what happens within the welcome.php. So here, this is what we are establishing here. So category slug and then the category name. Now, since we have a URL, whenever we click within our post, we'll be taken to the place which has all the categories that are associated with that particular post. So what I need to do here, I need to create within the views, I will need to create a category blade which will enable us to view all the posts. So here, hope I'm in there. See again. Yes, so here I'm going to create category .blade.php, just like that. So this one is within the resources views, and then I'm going to have this code. So this is the code I'm going to be having. So now this code, what it is doing is that it is just looping over the post and then returning the title of the post, the person who created the post, and then the relationship. So this one now here is going to count the post and the categories. If it is greater than 1, then it's going to give us the category that are associated with that particular post. Now this one I will explain it more as once we run the application, so that you're able to see what I mean. But just what you need to understand is that we are going to, whenever we click a particular category which is associated with the post, we are going to see all the posts that belong to that particular category. So that's the understanding there. All right. Since we have the welcome.blade.php, now this one represents the front end. So for us to be able to show our front end, we need to create another controller that is going to handle the front end part of our application. So here I'll need you to run this command. So here, run this controller. So we are going to call it pages controller. So now this controller here is going to do something. So this controller here is just going to return for us the welcome.blade.php and then the categories, because our posts also have categories. So on the front end part of it. Okay, so let's do this. All right, so now this is what we have in here. So let me take out this one. So this is what we have in. So I'm returning this controller. So this controller, what it's doing is that it's returning for us all the posts from our post controller or from our backend side. together with the categories, and we are ordering them by name and ascending. And then now we are returning the view which is welcome. So the view which is this one, so this is the view that we are returning. And then we also have now another function which is the category slug. Now what this function is doing is that it's going to fetch the slug from our categories, and then it's going to associate it with a particular post that belongs to that is the category that belongs to that particular post, so the relationship. And then here we are going to return the view controller. Remember, we have already created that view. So let me just show you the view that we created. Okay, so it is within the views. So within the views here, yes, this is the one. So you can see within the resources views, we have the category blade. So this one is the one that we are returning. So this one returns for us the post, all the posts that belong to that particular category. And then yeah, so this is what we are going to do in this particular post controller. And then we are paginating the post, that is if they are more than 5. Alright, so and then here we are importing the models like the post model and the category model, so which have all the relationship that we need to have. So lastly, what we are going to do here, let me save that one. We are going now to explore the web.php. This is the last one. So now you can see it has the route for our JStream, that is the dashboard. So remember the dashboard, we updated it here. So the dashboard returns for us all the created posts once we create a post. So what I want us to do here, there's something I want us to update within the post. That is within the dashboard, not the post, sorry, within the dashboard. So this is what I want us to do. So within here, I want you to update it this way, and then I'll explain. Now why are we updating this way? Now here we are saying get the URL app http controllers post controller at index. So now whenever this route goes to the dashboard, remember now we have updated our dashboard. It is no longer the same way it was before. So here you can see here within our dashboard, here we are having now all this. For example, we are looping over the post table and then showing our post details, that is like ID, title, like that. So that means that for it to be able to fetch all this information, remember it is depending on the controller, which is this one, which is the post controller here. Remember the post controller has all the definition as defined for us, like the post, the variable and all that. So what we are doing here within our web.php here, we are now telling it go to the post controller at index and get all the information from there. So we need to have it like this, right? And then the rest of the route will be like this. So the rest of the route will be this one. For the web, we are now going to get the root. So here we may not need this one now. So this one, let me comment out this one. So we will not need that one for now. So what we are doing here is that we are going to the root, and then we are now going to the pages controller at index, this one. So here, because now, and then we are returning the view welcome. So no longer this route is no longer returning the welcome. So we are returning it using this particular route here, so that we can have, because we have updated our welcome blade with all this particular information. And then now another one is that we are going to the category, that is pages controller at category. Remember this one. So we are coming here. Remember it has a slug, so it is able to pick up the slug from the categories and then present it that is, we're able to have a category with the slug, so that once you click the category slug, you're able to be taken to the category blade. So here, remember in my beginners course, I defined what we mean by this. That is a post, that is, sorry, not a post, but a route with parameter, right? So here we have in this parameter, which is our slug, and the slug I've passed it in this particular controller here. And then now here we are saying category, go to the post model, so go to the category model and get the slug here. Remember, within our model here, we have the slug here, which is going to be recorded once you create a particular category. So let's go back again, and then now we are going to pages controller that, and then here I've just given the name. This is what we refer to as named routes. It is named routes. So it's just going to pick up the categories like that. Now within the admin side, or the part where we are going to create the post, we have the post controller class and the categories controller class. Now all these things I've explained them in my beginner course, and this, remember, this tutorial is advanced tutorial, so that's why I do not I'm not dwelling much on these particular concepts, because I've already explained them in the beginners tutorial. So what so since we have in these two classes, it means that we need to import them here so that we can use them. So let me just import them. So now these are the two classes. I think they should be somewhere here. So these are the two classes. Let me just arrange them well. So these are the two classes for the post controller and the category controller. And then now remember, this one I've already explained all these concepts. So in other words, when you now go to PHP route list, should I think sorry, this should be PHP artisan route list. So now this one will show for us all the routes we have created. You can see for the category resource, that is the categories, as you can see they are here, as well for the post, as you can see them as well, like that, and any other routes that we have created within our application. So this is what I just wanted to show you. Okay. Okay, so let me minimize this. Okay, so now we are good to go, guys. So we are good to go. So let me look for that command, PHP artisan serve, and let's see how our application is doing. So probably I'll need to, okay, let me just refresh. So currently I'm logged in, but there's no post that I've created. So what we are going to do here, we are now going to go to post create. So we are going to be taken to the create. Okay, class form not found. Okay, so there's something I forgot to do. Let me go to create. So within our create here, now within our create here, we are using this form. So within this form here, I need to install a Laravel collective form, that because it's the one I'm using already here, but I've not installed it basically. That's why it's telling me class form not found. So what you need to do here, go to this website. So go to this website, Laravel collective form, this website, and I have this form installed. So this is the form I'm using in my application. So I'm going to install the latest one. So copy paste. So it is now installed. So let me run again the application and let's see. So let me close that one and run the application again. So we also have another error here, page content undefined. So this one is coming from our I think, okay, we are trying to access the post.create layouts app. So this one is coming from this one. Okay, so I'm using slot since I'm not okay. So when you look at the post, let's go back to it. Let's go back to post. Okay, not to post, but create. Within our okay, so I'm using the extents. So I'm not using the other one for, I think it's JStream, maybe, don't know exactly. But so what I need to do here within the layouts app here, I need to change this one to use the other one for yield, and then I indicate content like that. So I think this one should go. Alright, so this one has gone, but there is an, let me see, the yield. Okay, oh sorry guys, so this one should be at yield. Sorry, should that be at yield? At yield content, not yield content. Alright, so now we are presented with our post create. So now this is the form. Now this is the CK editor I was talking to you about, whereby you are able to create. As you can see here, it is similar to this one here. So this is the CK editor. So if you are still new to it, so this is the one. Now here you can see we have the part for category, remember from our create blade. And then now here we are using the jQuery, which enables us to select categories from our categories table. So here, since we have not created, so here what I need to do, I need to go to the app itself, and then I need to go to categories create. So let me access that particular view. So here let me just say I create one category, which is Laravel. So it should take us back to the categories index form. Let me add another one. So here I may create another one, JavaScript and so forth. You know what, let me just create several categories, and let me. So guys, so far these are the categories I've created within. Now you can see the user ID that is being fetched. So the user ID is Brian from our table. Now before we go to that, let me now come back here and let me refresh this one. Okay, now let's say this is going to be post one. Now I've remembered something. Before I create, we did not import the image, or we did not add the image in our public dot here. So let me just quickly do this within. So it's just what we are doing is just copying and pasting an image within the images folder here. So it's just simple as that. So let me just do this one quickly. So guys, I've just imported the image. Sorry, I've imported the image in our public, and then the images, which should now be this one here. So this is the image here. Okay, so that's the image. And then now here the image is being shown within our welcome blade by using the URL images, and then I'm able now to get the image from there. So that image will now be shown in our post. So so let's continue here. So this is post one. Let me just get some dummy text here just to give. Okay, so now here I'm going to have that So that's the detail of all the body of our text. Now you can see here we have a part now where we are able to select different categories. So now a post can have one category, or it can have many categories, which is many to many relationship. So here I'm able to select. So here I'm going to give this post okay, I'm going to give it two categories, which is Laravel and Tailwind CSS. And then I think that's all, so we are good to go. So let me create that one. Okay, so there's an error, column not found, a non-column in category post ID in one clause. Select from category post where post ID equals to 1. Let me see if I might have run all the migrations. Okay, so I think there's something that has not been run. Let's see if that post. So now, so this post has been created, and the body and the post. So let's access the home, which is now the welcome blade.php. Okay, so we are still having the same issue. So let me just check what could be it. So what I'm saying here, the entries for the category and the category ID and the post ID were not created. So I think there was a problem with the timestamp. So I repeated the timestamp twice, and maybe this could have been the issue. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to run this migration for this table again, and then it's going to be created. So this is how it should be, and I believe this is going to be, or it's going to be good. So let me just do that. So now what I've done is that I've ran this command, php artisan migrate refresh it. So now it has added the category ID and the post ID, so they need to be there so that it shall go well. So now so it means now these ones have been taken out. So I don't recommend this command when you are running that is when your application is already in production mode. So what you may want to do, you may want to run a specific migration on your table. So here I also need to log out, so that's why it's bringing out this error. So let me log out again. Let me log into the application. So so let me go to register, and let me do this quickly. So now we are presented with our dashboard here. So now let's try to create another post. I believe before we do that, let's since here we had already, okay, let me remove this one. Let me do this. So let me create, yes, let me run this URL. So let's create categories again. So that is created. So let me create another one. So this one may be JavaScript, and let me add another one. So this may be Tailwind CSS. Alright, so let me just have those ones. So here let me try to create a post again. So this is going to be post 1. There's something, okay, let me see if I have it. No, don't have it. So let me just generate some text here. So this is the text. Now alright, so let me I may have to do it. Okay, let me refresh this one. So since it has not, yes, so that you can now fetch our categories. Okay, now let me pick categories. So let me pick let me pick how many. Let me pick that one as well. Let me pick, so let me pick those two. Let's see now. Okay, so we are good to go. So this one has been created successfully. So let's try to access the welcome. Should be this one. Sorry, it's not should be that it should be just be like this. Yes. Alright, so this is the post created. There's something to do with the CSS. Okay, so we need to have Bootstrap. So I think I forgot to import it. So within the app blade, I imported Bootstrap. So let's go to guest blade. Now the welcome blade, remember, is being extended by the guest blade. So the guest blade has no any styling so far. In other words, this CSS that is being shown here is empty. So let me use Bootstrap there. I think this one should be, yes, so this is what should look like. Now you can see the post, the details of the post, the title, and then it is posted by the name of the person, and then the date to which the post has been posted, and then now the various categories that the post belongs to. Now you can see when I hover, you can see just down there, you can see category / Laravel. Now when you go to the, before we go to my Laravel 9, see the database. So now when you go to, let's go to categories. Let's see first, categories table. So within the categories table, what we can see is that this is what I was talking to you about. This is a slug, which is the same, which is synchronized with the name. So I think I'd shown you here in the categories controller here. So we are synchronizing the request name of the category. We are synchronizing it with the slug so that it can be also the same as slug. Now the user ID of the person which is I, who created the post, the category, and then now the ID of the category. Now when you go back to the tables again, now this is the pivot table which establishes the relationship between our post and our category. You can see the category is 1. That is the category of 1 is Laravel. You can see when I hover. The other category is Tailwind CSS, which belongs to the particular post, which has an ID of, let's see, ID of 1. So it has an ID of 1. So which has an ID of 1 here. So you can see now this one, I think it should be this one. Remember we had created, but the post anyway, it has an ID of 1, and then it has this the category. Let me see which category is this one. So this one is Tailwind CSS. So this one simply shows you this post as these particular categories, and then the post is the this is the post ID, which is now 1 like this, and now this is just the normal ID for the post. So now this pivot table, this is what it does, just records. Now when you go to the my Laravel app, so yes, the post, you can now see this is the post, and then the user ID is of the person who created the post. Remember the foreign key we had established in the post controller. Sorry, not the post controller, but the create post. Remember this key. This is the one which has been established here. I think that is easy. I've explained it enough. Now let me create another post. So let me just click add new, create another post quickly. So far I've created now the repost here. So now when we refresh, now these are the 3 posts I've created. Now you can see, now these are the various categories. A post can have many categories like this, like this. Now let me click this one. It should take us to the category, the slug of the category. Now these are the categories that are associated, sorry, these are the posts that are associated with this particular category, which is JavaScript. You can see they all have JavaScript as the particular as the category for the post. Let me see the ones that have tailwind CSS. So the ones that have tailwind CSS is post 3 and post 1. Likewise. Alright, so let me see which else. Maybe Laravel. So all of them have Laravel as the category of Laravel. So guys, so this is the tutorial for today, and I believe you have understood something. So we have established the Eloquent relationship, that is one-to-one, many-to-one. So you can just come and read out here, and we'll be able to understand more about them. So the one that may be somehow complicated is the many-to-many, but it's not complicated at all. If you have followed this tutorial, you're able to create such. Now you can use this concept to create tags, to create any other relationship in your application. So the concept, so I've just laid the foundation for you to be able to go out there and implement it in whichever way you want. So guys, subscribe to this channel. You can follow my website, webdevtrainee.com, whereby I post tutorial. I will also post this particular tutorial with the source code, so you're able to follow along if you want to read it out and be able to understand it well, if you are not be able to understand this particular video. So guys, let's meet in the next tutorial.